Yes, sir. 1585 on a Friday night. That's Mac. I'm Ace. Once again, it's on. Appreciate y'all coming through, hanging out with your fellas. 1585 show, 2 years strong, 1 hour long. Tonight's show, Mac. Fernando Tatis out here, juicing. I don't know anybody surprised. 80 game suspension. Quick topic.
Juice.
He's on that good juice. Sportsmanship versus killer instinct. I saw something that was heartwarming, but at the same time, thought-provoking. Sportsmanship has been put on the back burner for the killer instinct that we are trying to make our kids the best athletes they can be. Deshaun Watson still ain't out the window, ain't out the mud yet. Do you accept the suspension and fine and keep it pushing, or what would you rather do? Field of Dreams game last night, hologram. Some people said it was creepy. Others said it was pretty cool. I don't know. What say you? And then we'll wrap it up with a topic we did not get a chance to go over last week. I had it on the docket, didn't get there, so we'll finish it off. Mount Rushmore of sports this week, track and field. 1585 show. Here we go. Let's get it. Oh man, the good old days. Touchdown, McElroy. James Mack checking in. All right, Mac. We've already had the steroid conversation many times. Once again, violations are happening. Fernando Tatis Jr. not even playing this season. Gets 80 games. All right. You're a baseball star. Is the risk of taking performance-enhancing drugs worth the reward?
No, not at all. I'm not for dope. I believe everybody should come out there natural. But, I guess these guys feel they got to have a competitive edge. You got to remember they're playing 162 games in a season. And, your body's going to wear down. Even if you're not doing great things every night, just the grind of baseball, Major League Baseball, they play 6 days a week. Every team gets one day off during the week. So, I understand the doping. I just wouldn't do it because I would think, just me personally, I would go, well, I didn't do it naturally, so my numbers are cheating. And I don't want to cheat the game like that. But for these guys, think about it. They're doing all these drugs and stuff like that, and they're probably getting the ultimate prize: $100 million contracts, $200 million contracts. So it's really worth that risk for them because those owners aren't going to take those contracts back. They're not putting stipulations in there that if you get caught doping, we're going to recoup some of this money. That man has already signed a big contract, and he's good to go. So for them, financially, it's worth the risk. But to me, playing sports is more than just a financial gain. I want to consider one of the greats. So I would hate to be Barry Bonds, Pete Rose, Roger Clemens, these all-time greats who won't make the Hall of Fame because of something I did that was illegal. Even though Pete Rose wasn't for doping, it was for gambling on the game. So no, it's not worth the risk to me. For somebody else, I understand.
For somebody else, all right. So put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Fernando Tatis Jr. ain't this?
You have athlete feet.
Shoot, he's pretty slim. He's a slim guy, and he's feeling the pressures of being healthy. Like you said, it's a long season. Did he feel the pressure and succumb to the peer pressure? Like, I got all this money, so when I get back, I got to produce. Because I believe he's a lot like A-Rod, just a naturally talented, tall, lean guy. Barry Bonds, too. But before Barry Bonds started doing whatever he did to get so big and swole, we got Fernando Tatis Jr., who has all the skills in the world. but can't stay healthy? Did he succumb to the pressure of his body breaking down and doing what he had to do to get there? Or do you think he might have been juicing the whole time?
I don't know, because maybe, because there's different ways to use performance enhancing drugs. Some of them is for muscle recovery. Some of them are to build strength. Some of them are to build speed. So depending on what his performance enhancing was. I remember they made a big stink about Hank Aaron back in the 80s because he drunk a lot of coffee before games. They were like, that's performance enhancing. So I mean, I don't know, man. I think there's more guys out there probably doping. It's just, are you going to get caught? And I think that those guys learned how to cycle up and cycle down. And I would say, if I was struggling for a sport that I love, and I was really struggling to make a team, I was right there on the cusp, or I was on the cusp of greatness, and I'm in somebody else's shoes, not in my own shoes. It's a strong possibility, if that's the little thing that's going to give me that edge, I think I probably would if I'm somebody else. But I tell people all the time, steroids don't make you a great player. It enhances what's already great. You can't take some bum off the street and then go put him steroids, and next thing you know, he's heavyweight champion of the world. That's not how that works. So you got to have some talent in the first place in order to become, to become a great athlete in the first place. So the steroids is only enhancing what's naturally already there. You can't take Wimpy and have him eating burgers and put steroids in the burgers, and next thing you know, he's beating up Brutus. It's not going to work.
Sure they can.
That's not how it's
isn't that the Captain America story? Like, they used Wimpy and altered his DNA, and now he's Superman. I mean, if there was a red and blue pill, I mean, just talking fantasy here. How many non-God gifted athletes would take a pill to become the athlete they dreamed about, the athlete they dreamed they could be? Like, I totally see it. I mean, that's why steroids is here. That's why it's never going to go away. People always want to be bigger, faster, stronger. I mean, who's to say if it was, I mean, I'm not sure if you watched the program, The Boys on.
No, I don't.
All right. So
I thought about it on Amazon Prime, right?
There's an Amazon Prime show called The Boys, and there's a chemical that people can take to become a superhero. Just imagine if it was something you could purchase that can make you superhuman. The steroids is the closest thing. But does it create, like you said, you must have some type of talent beforehand. Now, what if there was something that would give you athletic ability? What if there was a pill that gives you 4.3 speed? If you're a gimp, you're a video game head, ain't never left grandma's basement, and you get a chance to become Fernando Tatis Jr. with a pill, I think 5 out of 10, maybe even 8 out of 10 middle-aged guys would take that pill. So I know the
But what's the side effects?
Possible death.
That's always a side effect. So
possible death. I mean, just like on the program, The Boys, it's dangerous. This stuff is dangerous if it's not used properly. It's that 1% that you would just, I think on the program, just to ruin it for everybody, some good guys take the serum just for one time, just to get even with the bad guys, just at one time. It might be the same phenomenon that guys that got bullied in high school become police officers. If I can all of a sudden become the bully and not be bullied anymore, who would choose that pill? Just to be great for a little while. It's something to think about, man, because you were naturally gifted. I was naturally gifted. Never had to take any PEDs. Now, they made us take creatine. They made us, lift weights with that creatine so that we could become bigger, faster, stronger. But it was not take this pill and you'll instantly be. We still had to work for it. We had to train.
Yeah.
But I know that people are so hypocritical to point the finger at these ball players, these track athletes. They are cheaters. But what if it was you? Wouldn't you want an advantage? Or if you saw everybody around you using it, wouldn't you want to be in the same, I guess, stratosphere of the elite athletes who are doing this activity? I don't know, man. It's a moral topic, because a lot of the hypocritical things we talk about in sports, like the Deshaun Watson situation. What's the biggest industry on the internet? Porn. There are a lot of creeps out there. There's a creep that got caught yesterday in the local youth program. I believe it's called Stars, and the guy's name is Frog. He was touching the girls.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like, there's some creeps out there.
He was trying to date them.
Yeah, 12-year-olds. So our moral compass, man, is so extreme, and yet it's still hypocritical, in my opinion. James Mack checking in. Tandai checking in. Ask Ray Lewis about deer antler. Deer antler piss. B. Henry in the house. 9 out of 10 are taking the pill. 9 out of 10. That's why shoot. Risk reward. They're not going to get that money back. He's not going to get that money back. He got the money. Guaranteed contracts in baseball. Hey, man, I think these guys have made a decision. If I get caught, I get caught. The money's great. Rodney Sauce in the house. Oldest man in Long Beach. Rodney Sauce, is you taking that pill? The Fountain of Youth pill? All right, man. Sportsmanship. I'm not sure if you watched the Little League World Series, but it was an interesting situation. Young pitcher hits batter in the head. Batter gets up, goes to first base. The pitcher is crying. But the person that he hit, the young baseball player he hit in the head, went to the mound and gave him a hug. It was a very touching display of sportsmanship and empathy at the Little League World Series. The question to you is, Mac, where do you draw the line between sportsmanship if you're training young kids or young adults? These are 12-year-olds teaching sportsmanship. At the same time, trying to make them champion or killers in their sport. Can you do both?
Yeah, you can do both. I'm trying to do it right now with my son. My son is one of the nicest kids you can ever meet. Don't want to, with his massive size at 11 years old, 5'7", 120. He's bigger than most of the kids, but he's a really nice guy. He's dad. I don't want to hurt my teammates. I don't want to hurt these guys. But with that cost, sometimes it makes him look like he's not that good because he's not really giving the effort. Instead of just dominating the kid, he just kind of move him out the way. So you know how coaches are. Yeah, he moved him out the way, but he ain't showing effort. He ain't giving hustle. He ain't doing all of that. So you want to be nice guys. I was kind of a nice guy on the field at times, but you can't make me mad and expect for that niceness to stay. So you can have both. You can be a nice guy on the field because I'm not intentionally trying to hurt somebody. But if you start trying to get in my head or you start getting in my ear, you're not gonna make me mad to where you're gonna get me out my game. You're just gonna make me compete much harder because I'm just out there competing. Now I gotta really show you, like, okay, you want to run your mouth. Your boy from Long Beach Poly, Kelly Malvo, University of Arizona, he always wanted to talk mess too. I would come at his head. I used to always like, why this dude want to mess with me all the time? Like, come on, brother. I'm your local kid from the LA area, Long Beach area. I want you to have success too. But you keep talking crazy to me now. I got to go off. I'm not going to say nothing back, but I'm going to go off. So it's just one of those things, man. You want to teach your kids that, all athletes, man, that the main thing is this is about doing something that the majority of the world can't do. That's why a lot of people would take that pill 9 out of 10 times because they can't do it. So I want to do it. It's kind of like the Power Project with Jamie Foxx. I could pop this pill and become a superhero for 10 minutes. It's just like, I guess it's like the boys on Amazon Prime. So I want you to go out there and be aggressive and dominate, but with a good spirit in hand, because you know how it is after games. We go out there and we battle. Shoot, in practice, we go out there and battle, talk about each other, talk about each other's mamas. You can't do this, you can't do that. But then after practice, everybody's cool, or after the game, everybody cool in the huddle, prayed up at the 50-yard line. So you kind of want both. You don't want somebody to be absolutely nasty. Even though in this society, we praise Jordan and Kobe for being actual super killers and people not really liking them like that. We love them and we praise them for it, but we all know what that's about. It's about being different from LeBron. And those are the two guys you can compare to LeBron at that level. So that's what I think that is. But you want your kids to have both, or you want athletes to have both. Empathy and sympathy for the other player, and also you want that person to have a killer instinct, because at the end of the day, you all trying to achieve a goal of winning, but you also don't want to do it in poor spirit or poor sportsmanship. That's what it took T.O. so long to get into the Hall of Fame. That dude's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he was poor sportsmanship at times, running to the Cowboy star, getting into it with people. People didn't like that. So that can be a blessing as well, too. So you got to have a little bit of both.
They said,
what'd you say?
B. Henry said Nolan Ryan is rolling over in his grave right now. As Bubba Dub would say, trash. All this sportsmanship, trash. You gonna console the man that just banged you in the head? You rushed the mound and gave him a 2-piece to the head like Nolan Ryan back in the day. Tandai said, these participation trophy kids, man, they soft. These kids soft, man. Now, all jokes aside, man, it's a fine line. Tandai said Randy Moss said he didn't know trash talking until he got to FSU. That's hard to believe. Most country boys I played with had a natural ability to talk trash. They might not have been one like Kevin. He probably didn't. Yeah, West Virginia type of talking trash, him and Jason Williams. But I believe there really is a switch that you should have. Every kid, suburb, ghetto, elite, prestigious country club kids, you should always know when you're in a fight and be able to defend yourself. We had a story to tell the team today about how last year we played against the team we're playing against this week, and they were trying to start fights with us. And the kids we had last year ended up getting into a couple of scuffles, and the school wanted us to reprimand those kids for getting into those scuffles. We had to defend our kids because our kids were simply defending themselves because the other kids were trying to start stuff and bully them. But we don't want to have a football team that gets pushed around. So when the administration steps in saying, "Hey, we're a Catholic school. We don't want to represent that type of atmosphere or those types of kids," and our head coach is like, "Yo, I came from the hood. These kids are not thugs. These kids are not trying to start anything. If anything, watch the film. They were simply defending themselves." So the sportsmanship is first and foremost, but when it's time to squabble up and defend yourself, as long as you ain't started, and that's where I had to help my kids, mine included, playing pickup ball, playing a game where someone's getting serious and you're still smiling. You have to know when it's time to kind of defend what's happening. You got to know the atmosphere, what's happening. If this person is getting a little bit more heated than you are, be prepared for the unknown. If they're wearing black Air Force Ones or they got, kid is 13 years old with tattoos already, sometimes you got to know, okay, this could crack. This could jump off right now. I got to be prepared for it. So I know there's a fine line, but I think our kids should be prepared for both. Be a killer when it's time to be a killer, but have sportsmanship. But when that respect is lost, don't be a naive deer in headlights, like you don't know the temperature of the room. I see a lot of comments hopping down here. Let's see what's happening. My man Jabari Brent, my teammate, high school teammate, says need to teach the kids about how to handle emotional behaviors. A lot of kids don't realize that the temperament has changed. Some kids will still be smiling and it's go time. But then again, same kids don't know when it's time to stop bagging on somebody that's now no longer laughing at the jokes.
Yeah.
Mac House, you
know how to read the room.
Gotta know it. Who's talking trash to Randy Moss in West Virginia? I imagine all them cats at what's it called? Ran U? All the has-beens that didn't make it?
Yep.
That hang out at the liquor store? I imagine them old heads talking trash. I remember that in Long Beach. Hey, just like us, Wilson and Poly kids get into it. Trash talking, but once we play that game, we cool. It's part of the game. I believe we had a guest one time during the pandemic. Dr. Fennell. He was studying trash talk.
Yeah.
And it's part of some of our makeup. And trash talk goes out the window versus a disciplined team. Long Beach Poly versus De La Salle. We try to go in there talking trash. De La Salle was immune to trash talk. They were a fine old machine, and they laughed at our trash talk. It was like Kevin Garnett versus Tim Duncan. Didn't work. They was laser focused, man. So we agree it's a fine line, man. Fine line. Cool gesture though, kid consoling the other kid. You could have went up there and said, "Quit crying, punk. You should have hit me in the head, punk. That's why. Hey, next time I'm gonna come up there." All right, man. Deshaun Watson still ain't out.
What does young AC do to that?
What's that?
What does young AC do in that situation?
Oh, young AC will probably go to the mound and console the pitcher, and hug him.
No, I'm talking about young Anthony Cobb.
Oh, me?
I'm talking about young
I probably would have said, "Hey, quit crying, punk. Next time, you make sure you throw it across the plate so I can hit it out the park." I wouldn't have said anything to the point of your mama stinks or your mama ugly or something. I'd have been like, "Yo, you had to hit me in the head because you know what I was gonna do if you pitched me a strike." Like I was more in the lines of my next opportunity, I'm gonna make you pay for what you just did. Like it wasn't like to the point where I'm gonna get myself thrown out the game. And I'm trying to teach my nephew this because we were watching some film and he was ready to get into a fight with a kid. He said, "But he did me first." I'm like, "Yeah, but then now you're thrown out the game too." Like your comeback should be next play, pop him in the mouth. So me, when we got cheap shotted or trash talked, we were always taught to talk back with our pads, talk back with our bat if it's baseball, talk back with your screens, your rebounding and boxing out, whatever was in the confines of the game. Now track and field, there was no contact, but that pre-warm-up area behind Cerritos College where everybody's getting down. I mean, you get into it a little bit, but you still got to run your race, and that's kind of where the silent bravado has to come through. Like we ain't got nothing to say. We're just gonna see y'all on the track, and we had the green light to fight dudes if they disrespected our girls on our team. But other than that, nothing really popped off. But in our day, I think it was a little bit more welcome and understood. If you cross a certain line with kids from a different type of city, then that's what you're going to get. And that's what a lot of schools get as far as the reputation is concerned. Some schools don't have a reputation of kids that have toughness. We were blessed to be at schools, the Wash House and the Funk House at Long Beach Poly. They give me some tough kids. You come in here talking trash, they're going to back it up and be ready to, do something to you. So it's just it's a different day. Participation trophies. I mean, shoot. I'm trying to talk trash to the Compton Tar Babes. In Compton. On a Friday night. With the band playing, with the Tubas playing. Tubas playing Do I Diddy by Zap. Ghetto scene, man. And I ain't even that ghetto. They call me a square. Ain't that right, D-Mac? I was a square. Straight up square. Some grew up different. It's for part of the game, said D-Mac. Rudy Campbell in the house. Poly Modern Day scrimmage ends in a little misunderstanding. Solid talent on the field tonight all around. A little misunderstanding sounds about what we're talking about. A little misunderstanding sounds like a little skirmish. Sounds like a little melee.
Fist of cup.
A little fist of some pity pat pats. Skibbity pat paps. Modern day Polly in a scrimmage? The hate between modern day and Polly? There has to be a misunderstanding.
Is it there still though? Is modern day Polly still a hateful rivalry?
Yeah, man, we got dropped down to Division 4. We can't get kids into school. Whereas modern day has every kid from Long Beach that can't get into Poly. It's rooted, man. It's deep rooted. They abandoned the rivalry. I'm pretty sure they put the school district up to it. A little scuffle, just a little one. It wouldn't be a Poly modern day scrimmage without a scuffle.
Couple of paps here and there.
Hey, Poly plays Sarah again. There's gonna be some skibbity paps. It might be some skibbity paps in the audience. Poly Sarah, it's always popping at the Poly Sarah game. You better have extra security. Garnett to Mello, your wife tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios. Man, that's.
Hey, at least you good for your cholesterol.
Dang, man, how do you play a game? Like, how do you finish the game? You can't even look at him like after.
I would laugh something like that off. You gotta laugh something like that off. That's funny.
No, it ain't funny, man. Was there a rumor that KG slept with Lala?
No, it's just KG talking mess, kind of like how Shannon Sharp did. Derek Thomas got his girl phone number and kept saying it during the game. Got Derek Thomas kicked out the game.
See, that's some good trash talk right there.
I think
that's some good research. If he got the girl's number and was broadcasting it like a Morris Day song. Rudy said them Long Beach kids can get into the little private high school in the city. I sure wish them little stragglers who are not getting in on the modern day side and the Poly side. There's a little school on the east side of Long Beach that could use a few biggins. I'm gonna leave it at that. Can't really recruit, but you know what I'm saying. Y'all saw my post.
Dressed like a raisin on Friday nights.
Hey man, we're gonna be looking decked out. We're gonna be looking decked out on Friday night. Hey, I posted on Tuesday. It's too many Samoans at Bosco. Not enough playing time. Come on over to the east side of Long Beach. And not 1600 Atlantic, the other team. Am I being discreet enough? I think they're gonna shut my podcast down.
Hey, you didn't say the school name, so
I never said the ski. You just said raisins. You didn't even say the color. You said raisins. That could be black, green. Rodney Saucy, I'm still looking for the Tom Peabody of modern day in our 50s. The Tom Peabody? Man, we be hearing that ain't funny. Ain't funny at all.
J-Mo,
your woman tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios. That's pretty specific. That's too specific.
That's good for your cholesterol, though. I couldn't even be mad at that.
Ain't bad.
He said she was a healthy cereal.
Man,
she's healthy cereal.
Did he kiss her shoulder? How she taste like Honey Nut Cheerio? Rodney Saw said no rumor. He hit and Mello tried to see him at the team bus. Oh, Rodney Sauce is a referee, so he know the dirt. He knows the dirt. That's some scoop.
You think Lala let KG?
Lala was that foul?
I don't.
Lala gotta know better.
I don't know.
That's
that foul.
Lala. Come on, Lala. That's NBA superstars. Dang, that's like Pac talking to Biggie about Faith Evans.
Now that's where you fight. Because you put that on the album on wax.
First of all, Shannon Sharp said, "Hey, your woman number is 857."
Man.
I can hear Shannon Sharp right now. Hey, your woman name. Hey, I know your girl. I know a number too. Her number is 587-3528. Hey, tell me I'm lying. Hey, man, she belongs to the streets now. Say hi. Say hi. Like what? What? Chad Dice said that one off.
I like all that. Hey, speaking as a married man, Brandon, you are absolutely right. If I was
What do
a
you
single
say?
man, oh, I'm shooting my shot.
You shooting that
Shooting
thing
my shot.
like Steph Curry. Ryan Smith in the house. Hey,
I'm out there.
Laura's taking pics of all the modern day families from Long Beach. Hey man, it's time for him to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove. Come on, say, hey man, come on back home, man. They don't love you in Santa Ana. You a rental. We got Rudy Cambero on our staff, man. We got more colleges coming to our practice than we got coming to your practice, and you guys number one in the state. Make that make sense. Talking about the school located on 620 Olive. What school is that? I don't know. It needs a paint job. La ain't all that. Hey, KG was trying to get some trash talk leverage. Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning too? Oh, man.
They were fighting over a woman, right?
Oh, they wasn't fighting.
They were fighting over a woman, right?
They weren't fighting. They was just taking turns. That ain't right. Jake Mo said, that's why. No, man. Reggie Theus? Oh, Reggie Theus used to kill Michael Jordan over Juanita. Oh, yeah. She did mention Reggie Theus, too. So it was all true.
Really? Wow.
Ooh, wow. That will explain why Michael Jordan was able to get the pass. That's why Mike had the pass. Juanita had dirt. Rudy said that's not public info. I haven't said it. I didn't say one word. I'm anonymous. Anonymous. All right, man. Deshaun Watson, briefly, still under appeal, I believe, by Roger Goodell. If he comes back with an 8-game, $5 million suspension, are you going to accept it or are you going to appeal it? I believe just Deshaun Watson played tonight.
I'm going to accept it and keep it pushing, man. I mean, because you don't want to just keep going. Get this over with. Water under the bridge. By week 3, ain't nobody talking about it in play.
Yeah,
he can afford that $5 million.
Of course he can. He about to get 230. But a lot of people saying, why would you accept if you haven't done anything wrong? Because now today, he says, as he gets ready to start, he apologized. He spoke with Aditi Kinkawawala ahead of the starting game tonight in Jacksonville. She says her response to him, as you say that, your eligibility is still in question, and although this appeal is ongoing, I have to ask you, the initial ruling from Judge Sue Robinson made a very specific point of you saying that your lack of remorse played into her decision making. It's been part of the narrative surrounding you. What is your response to that? Deshaun Watson, look, I want to say that I am truly sorry to all the women that I have impacted in this situation. The decisions that I made in my life that put me in this position. I would definitely like to have it back, but I want to continue to move forward and grow and learn and show that I am a true person of character, and I'm going to keep pushing forward. I think he was advised by counsel to say something that doesn't sound like you did nothing without admitting guilt. What do you take from that statement?
I take that somebody told him he should. He apologizes. I mean, if you read what the judge said, he had no remorse. Apologize. I mean, most people know that apology was half-hearted and forced, but it's just a simple gesture that he could have done in the beginning, from the get-go. Does the man have a problem of wanting to be massaged by beautiful women? Yeah. I don't know what men wouldn't have that problem when you're rich like that. But at the same time, give your apology and keep it pushing, man. Because if you try to make it seem like you're not remorse, there's a thing called being whiteballed in the NFL. Well, obviously, Cleveland Browns don't care about that. They just want a good quarterback finally after years and years of not having one. So just Just apologize, keep it pushing, man, and get you one masseuse from now on.
Freaky Dicky Sneaky Watson said, hey, what I got to do, man? I'm trying to get on the field. I'm trying to get this money. Y'all keep taking years of my prime away. Rodney said, why show remorse when you say you're innocent? Because even though you are innocent in the court of law, you are guilty in the court of public opinion. And Roger Goodell is now acting on the public opinion of the NFL and its fans. And the bottom line, dollar signs. So say something that sounds remorseful, kid. We'll give you 8 games, fine you a few million. You play tonight. Eventually they'll love you. Right now, they hate you like Kaepernick.
No, I don't think it's worse than Kaepernick, though.
No,
I think
but
Kaepernick got it.
Kaepernick got it worse, but they don't like him. Like, they treating him like Will Smith. Like, we no longer like Will Smith. We no longer
I like Will Smith.
People trying to cancel Will Smith, man. They trying to cancel my man Deshaun Watson. When I saw Queen Elaine post the picture of Bill Cosby in the place of Deshaun Watson, I almost fell out my chair, man.
That was funny.
I almost fell out my chair. Bill Cosby admitted to what he was doing on a deposition recording. Deshaun Watson's only guilt is freaky sneaky. He did not rape nobody. We treating him like he raped somebody. I don't know, man.
He put on the smallest towel and the littlest drawers he could find. Put his legs over his head and said, massage these.
Right there. Besides that little spot right there. Ain't much room, but I need it. That little spot right there. It ain't a lot.
Get the gooch. Get my gooch spot. Can you massage the gooch spot?
I still don't understand how Watson's case is worse than Roethlisberger. It is.
Because them girls listen to too much Humpty Dance, Rod. They want to get busy in the Burger King bathroom too. That was part of their fantasy.
Remember
why.
Remember when that song was on the radio and they would blur out Burger King?
Yeah.
Like Burger King was like, we don't want that kind of a reputation that our bathrooms are the place to get busy. I once got in bathroom. I'm crazy. Allow me to amaze thee. I'm like, wait a minute, what did you just say? And I said, and also life after football. Got to think about that as well. Well, he remained.
For $320 million, I don't think he's worried about life after football.
I think he'll be fine. What do you want to do? Be a broadcaster? I think that boat is sailed. Michael Vick did a good job making the transition, but look what he had to go through to get back to normalcy. He's still. I mean, I got a Michael Vick jersey and I wear it, and people are like, I can't stand Michael Vick. He killed dogs. I'm like, okay. But he can throw a nice post route, though. But he sure could throw that post route. I was like, but he
put mustard on him. I'll kill a dog too. Mustard with some onions and some sauerkraut, some tomatoes. I'll tear a dog up too.
Jackson fans giving him the business tonight. I'm pretty sure Jacksonville fans giving him the business. He gonna get the business for a while.
First of all, Jacksonville fans can't say nothing because your team is trash.
Jacksonville can't say nothing.
Get your team up. Don't talk about me. Get your team up.
Get your team up.
Get your team up.
Get your team up.
That's about me. Get your team up.
All right, man. Hey, man, the Field of Dreams game was last night. The second annual Field of Dreams game, where they bring out, I guess the old legends of the game. The Cubs won the game 4-2, and it's the second rendition of it. And they had a hologram of the late great Harry Carey singing the 7th inning stretch, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And some people were having a great time, but other people were freaked out. What in the world is this? Oh Lord, Brandon Henry saying the Cubs. I'm glad the Cubs won in the Field of Dreams game. It might have been creepy. I went to a Michael Jackson show in Las Vegas and saw a hologram of Michael Jackson. Kind of creepy. How do you feel about holograms? And if you are cool with them, who would you like to see one of one day that is no longer with us?
I'm amazed by the holograms and how how real they kind of look. They look. I think they're cool. It's a technology marvel that we can get holograms. I mean, the first time I seen one, I wasn't at the show, but I seen the replay of it. They had Tupac hologram at a show. He was performing. And I thought that was pretty cool. I wouldn't get freaked out by it, 'cause I know it was a hologram. I was going to be blind, shoot laser beams at me. It's not happen. So I don't see why people would be freaked out about it. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool honor that you care enough about a person to hologram them doing something, especially with the late great Harry Carey saying "Take me out to the ball game" in the 7 inning stretch. That's pretty cool. So for people that get freaked out about that, I think you're being childish. And you know that ain't invoking nobody's spirit or nothing like that, man. That's honoring somebody. So I'm cool with it. There's a person I'd like to see hologrammed that's not with us anymore. I personally would see Jesse Owens as a hologram because of what he accomplished in the 1936 Olympics through racial bigotry at home, and then going into the hornet's nest of racial bigotry in the world, the face of it at that time, Nazi Germany. So I would love to just, if he can hologram and his spirit could take over the hologram and we can have that discussion, because I'm a history major, I'm a history buff. I would love to have that conversation with him, but it would be great to see that hologram at a track and field event, running 100 next to the other 100-meter participants. I think that would be pretty dang on dope. I would like to see that.
That would.
What about you?
I want to see a hologram of Rick James and he appear at a. I want to see a hologram of Rick James, Prince, and Michael Jackson at a concert, performing together live. As we all know, all three of them didn't get along all that great. But Rick James, Prince, and Michael Jackson hologrammed up, singing some of their best hits.
What song are they gonna perform?
Hey man, I have no idea. I just know Rick would try to go first. And
I'm Rick James. I should go first.
I'm Rick. Enjoy yourself. Roddy said Tupac hologram freaked people out. He had people thinking he was alive, and they still do. Mrs. Cobb's in the house. She said he is though. Oh Lord, she's a huge Tupac fan. Tupac is not alive. Rick.
What they say in Pulp Fiction? Tupac is as dead as fried chicken.
All right, man. I don't know where we was at. It was college. I'm driving down Sunset Boulevard going to our apartment in Hollywood. And you know that on the way to Hollywood from UCLA is the, I want to say the Comedy Store or the Laugh Factory. One of them comedy places. And I'm driving my brother-in-law's white Bronco. No coincidence. It's just coincidence. And I was trying to see who was performing.
Yeah,
the comedians. And I drove up Sunset. I make a U-turn to drive up slow to read the kiosk or whatever. And it's a little guy out front. Bald head, bandana on his head, backwards. And I look up and he throws his hands in the air like, "What's up?" And I gave him the nod. And then I U-turned around again to go back the direction I was going. And I guess he thought I was somebody else. He flipped me off and called me whatever he called me. And I was like, "Was that Tupac?" I was like, "I just got flipped off by Tupac." I was like, "Oh."